Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy DFS Baseball Pick Show. I'm your host, Meg Ruler 31. Yesterday was a really high scoring day. Most of my cash lines were up in the 200s with St. Louis and Pittsburgh stacks. Um, got a little bit lucky because I paid up for Steele over Scherzer, especially on FanDuel. So that made me sacrifice Goldschmidt and Reynolds, who were the two duds in the lineup. So fortunate there, but um, what a high scoring, amazing day. So today we've got a baby like 2-game slate early on at 135. If you're looking to play that one, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. On DK, you're just going to take Cortez and Hulk as your pitchers. Hulk is only 5'4". Like he should be able to get you anywhere from 12 to 16 DK points, and that's all you needed for a 5K guy. Should be fine. I know the wind's blowing out in Boston a little bit. The Twins definitely could go off. We've seen some power come out of them at times. But I think, really against Maeda, just take the left-handed Boston bats like Verdugo, Devers, Yoshida, and then Yankees right-handed bats against Sandoval. So Volpe, Judge, if he can fit him, Torres, and then fill in with whatever value plays you can. On FanDuel, if you're taking Cortez as your pitcher, it's pretty expensive. So you might not be able to get Judge in with that and Devers. But it's still, I mean, it's the same principle. You want to take right-handed Yankees bats, left-handed Boston bats, and there's some cheap left-handed Twins bats because you're not playing Hulk as a pitcher there. You're only playing Cortez. So, a Kepler leading off is pretty reasonably priced. Julian, if he leads off, or even if he's up in the top 5, is another left-handed bat that's pretty cheap, that's shown some power. So we got through the early slate. So for the later slate, 5 games, start with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Pittsburgh leaves Coors Field, comes back home. So it's a park downgrade, wind blowing in around 10 miles per hour, but it's going to be 81 degrees. So you have Luke Weaver coming off of this, the IL. He did really well in his rehab starts. I think he went like 9 or 10 innings between 2 games. So it's like 4 to 5 innings, should be able to go out there. And did have some strikeouts and look decent. Good prospect. Someone that has moved around a couple teams and hopefully finds a home in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, I mean, they were hitting at times before they went out to Coors. It's really weird because Reynolds kind of cooled off. He was like their hottest hitter, and some of the other guys really started to pick it up. So it is a pitcher's park. So I think Weaver's in play here, and Contreras on the other side definitely also. The Reds do have strikeouts in the lineup. So, and I know they hit some home runs against Tampa Bay, but that was in like their Great American Small Park. This is a park downgrade for them. So both pitchers are in play. Bats wise, both of them are cheap stacks. Really kind of like Pittsburgh here, and I think I'll be focusing more on like the bottom half of the order. So, maybe leave like Hayes, Reynolds, McCutchen, even if McCutchen's in there. It's like sometimes he gets a day off against righties. But I'm really interested in like Santana's Whiskey. Can't hit lefties, but he's been crushing righties. Cannon, Smith, Najuba. Wasn't great at Coors, but he has got some speed and have seen some power. And Rudolph Castro has just been on fire before he went to Coors, at Coors. Bay's a good hitter. I mean, the bottom half of this lineup is pretty strong, and it might get all shuffled up being against a righty on a day after they traveled. So we'll just have to kind of see what lineup comes. But Pittsburgh definitely is intriguing. And I think, there's some cheap Cincinnati bats like Vossler, Friedel, some lefties against Contreras that I take also if you need some cheap fill-ins. Colorado Rockies and Philadelphia Phillies. So this is in Philadelphia, 72 degrees, wind blowing out slightly 5 miles per hour. So decent hitting. Ryan Feltner, who I think he's going to be a fade here. I think the Phillies have actually put it together, leaving a lot of guys on base still, but they're actually scoring a lot of runs. Scored about, I think, 14 yesterday, and on Sunday they had like a crooked number 2. So definitely starting to hit. Strom on the other side, against the Rockies. I think he's definitely in play and one of my favorite medium range pitchers. I didn't go super deep into the last game. I think he had a blister or something going on here, but I think other than that, like he was pitching good. So we'll just to see, if he's gonna be limited or anything. But I think he'll be fine. And if you need some value at pitcher and don't want to, I think if you do want value pitcher, you want to drop down to like Contreras and then Weaver. But I think a nice contrarian play on a small slate would be Strom here against a Colorado team that really couldn't hit in Coors, and other than like Chris Bryant, like the rest of his team's really been struggling. And you get some lefties in the lineup, and the righties in the bottom of the lineup aren't anything too spectacular. So, but really, really like the Phillies. I think they're going to be my top stack. I know some people probably disagree because when we talk about the next game in Wrigley Field with the wind blowing up and some weather concerns there, but I'm sticking with Philly as my favorite stack just from what they've done recently. They've just been crushing it, starting to put it together. So Feltner's been a little bit of reverse split this guy, so righties or lefties. So Stott leaving off been really hot. Turner, if you can fit him in your lineup, I don't think anybody's going to play Turner on DK because Fernando Tatis Jr. bearing the lead here is coming back today. He is minimum price, and when we get to that game, I'll talk about him. But so, that's a great place to be different if you can pay up and get to him. Schwarber is expensive on DK, but he's super cheap on FanDuel. Marsh is more expensive than him, almost by $1,000. So I think Marsh doesn't play. Castellanos, Real Muto, if you can get to him at catcher. Like pretty much anybody. I don't know if I play Cave here or Harrison, but if you want to try to do a wraparound thing, I get it if you're trying to get some value in there. Value wise, I think I prefer to take like the Pittsburgh or Cincinnati guys. But that's if it works and those guys get on the top of the order, comes up and like hit some home runs, then you're off to the races. So next game here, we have the Dodgers and the Cubs. Winds blowing out 20 plus miles per hour, 67 degrees, but rain. But it looks like the rain's gonna be early on in the game, so I think that it should be able to dry up. You're only talking like a 30% chance later on, so I think we'll be fine on this one. You have Michael Grove and James Tyon. I'm not interested in either pitcher, just with the potential rain and the winds. It's just an absolute disaster, so put them both on the fade list. If you're playing 150 max, I want to put them like 5% just in case for some reason they go off and have a great game and like have no ownership. Then that will get you all the money. But again, don't put a huge percentage on that. So bat wise, really love the Dodgers lefties here. I'll have to see if Mookie Betts is back in lineup after his paternity leave. They still have him as out, but we'll have to see. But Outman, even if he's hitting down the order, I'm good with Freeman, Muncy, Hayward. Looking at the lefties there for the Dodgers, and then for the Chicago Cubs. And just lots of stolen bases here. I think Bellinger's probably my favorite play at 3-3 on DK. It's a great price there. But Honer, Swanson, Happ, Suzuki, if you can get him in. He had a day of rest yesterday. Mancini is cheap. Hosmer is a lefty at first base. If you want to do a wraparound, Gomes is a decent catcher. So, whatever works for you for your stacks. Arizona and San Diego. In Arizona, Waka and Ryan Nelson. Waka, I think you can make a case for here. Arizona is decent. He's a little bit of a reverse splits guy, so some of the right-handers you can definitely look at. Arizona's been hitting well and getting on base and stealing bases. So, but I don't see them like hitting like a ton of home runs. So I think Waka will be able to control the game and be decent for that. And then if you look on the other side of the game, San Diego, like with the roof open, it's supposed to be 80 degrees or so. Fernando Tatis coming back, and this lineup's just so much stronger with him in there that I don't really want to play Ryan Nelson. But same thing, like I said, with if you want to sprinkle them in like 5-10% of because we have seen San Diego like lay eggs before. If you're playing like 150 max on a small slate, then that's perfectly fine. But bat wise, Tatis, just looking at his numbers. He's played 8 games in the minors. Again, it's against minor league pitchers. So 33 at bats. He had 17 hits, scored 11 runs, 7 home runs, 15 RPIs. Only struck out 3 times, only walked him 6 times, had 2 stolen bases. He hit .515 with a .590 on base percentage, a 1.212 slugging percentage, and just some crazy numbers. Now, will that translate when we get back to major league pitching? Who knows? But he's minimum price on DK, so probably going to be locking everybody's lineup for cash. And on FanDuel, he's more expensive, so I really like Turner there. I think at $1,000 less. Arizona bats, I think, are great fill-ins again. With just their speed and everything, a little bit more expensive than some of the Pittsburgh and Cincinnati guys. So if they work, they work. If not, then that's fine. Pavel Smith has really gotten into the line, starting to eating to some other guys on playing time. So he's got a little bit of power, he's got a ton of speed, only 2.8. So he's a nice fill in there too, for first base if you don't have a first baseman you like. Mets and the San Francisco Giants. So you have Senga and Manaea. I think Senga is going to be the highest owned pitcher on the slate. San Francisco can hit, but they have struck out a lot. So Conforto should be back in the lineup after his like calf strain or whatever. He came in, pinch hit a home run in the 11th or yesterday. So we probably see Wade leading off, Yastrzemski higher in the order. My boy Blake Sabel will be in the lineup, so I'll definitely probably have him as catcher if I'm not playing Senga in a GPP. I love that guy. Made me so much money this year. I should probably buy his jersey, or his card isn't out on Sora yet, but as soon as that comes out, I'm purchasing that. Really like that guy. Hopefully his price stays down there. But anyways, Senga, good pitcher. Manaea, I think against the Mets, there's Marte is probably out of the lineup, so you're gonna probably have another righty in there, like a Kana. But so like Nemo with like Lindor, McNeil, Beatty, if he's in the lineup. Manaea is great against lefties. He might just give up a couple runs against the righties, but I think he's definitely in play in a smaller slate. I think I like Waka a little bit better. It's gonna be hard to pay up for both pitchers, but I'm not against it to get bats in. But whatever. Mets wise, I think, I'll always play them in a GPP. That's pretty much stack the righties, but I'll probably like throw Lindor in. So I'll probably go like Hanna, Lindor, Alonso, Pham, just stick it to like 4 there. And I think San Francisco is the ultimate leverage stack, because Senga would be the only decent pitcher on the slate. If he's going to have such high ownership, if these lefties from San Francisco go off and put up a bunch of runs, then I think, that's definitely going to be a good night for you. So let's look at the breakdown quick of what I picked for teams. So for cash against Senga, probably going to go Contreras or Wheeler as my SP2. Catcher, probably going to find the cheapest guy that's playing possible for that position. Then again, I'm going Dodgers and Philadelphia here. So Freeman, Stott, Muncy. I'll leave it up to you if you want to play the free square Tatis at shortstop, Altman, Schwarber. If for some reason this game is rained out and canceled, then you can definitely put in San Diego or the Mets in there in that order for your secondary stack. I just go full stack of probably 5 Phillies there, and then fill in with San Diego and Met pieces, whatever works for you. Or take one of the cheaper ones if you want to pay up for both pitchers there and the game's canceled, then you can get like Pittsburgh, Arizona, Cincinnati pieces in to fill in your lineup. It should be perfectly fine. For GPP, I'm going to have Waka, and then again, I might try like to get Manaea in there, but probably go like Contreras or Weaver also just to have the salary. Catcher, since I'm not playing Senga in this one, I'll probably go with my boy Sabel, but we'll have to see who else is there. If somebody cheaper, maybe I'll even take the Cubs if I don't find other options. But I think Mancini at first base, but I mean, you can leave that up in the air. I just like the price point. You can definitely go Santana from Pittsburgh also, but Horner, third base, I'll let you decide if you want to go with the Cubs or if you want to go with the Pittsburgh guy there. Swanson, Bellinger, and Reynolds. I think, Reynolds bounced back at home here. If you don't want to pay up that much for him and want to get a better pitcher, then I'm fine if you fill in with like Happ there. And if you go all three Cubs, if you like put like Suzuki in there for the outfield, or if you take one of the cheaper Mets, or not Mets guys, Pittsburgh guys, like I said, lefty, no, Smith the Jigba, if he's there, like especially love Swiski. Also, I think he'd be my favorite lefty Pittsburgh filling bat. For FanDuel, Contreras, Freeman, Stott, Muncy, Outman, Schwarber. Again, if the Rams rained out, throw San Diego in there. I would pay up for Senga with your Philly stack and throw in Pittsburgh, Arizona, or Cincinnati as your fill-ins. And then Senga I can get up to if I stack Cubs in Pittsburgh. So first base, again, I'll leave that open to you, whether you want to play Santana or Mancini there, or a one-off. But my priorities are Horner, Hayes. I like a third base there. I think Castro's third base eligible, so if you want to throw him in there instead of the utility, that's fine. Swanson, Bellinger. Again, I'll let you figure out if you want Happ, if you want Reynolds, who you want to pay up for your outfielders. And then I think Castro is definitely a priority. I just like how well he was hitting before he went to Coors, how well he did in some of the games at Coors, and I think he continues on with hitting and being able to run on the bases also. So that's what I got for you for the slate. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat below. Hit me up at MegaRuler31 on Twitter. If these videos are helpful to you, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, share with your friends. Our numbers just keep on growing with our subs, so I appreciate all of you who have shared with your friends and have watched, and maybe your friends have shared with other friends, and things just keep on growing. So it's just so awesome, so appreciative of your viewership and the time you spend watching. And again, hopefully we're helping you and you're helping us by watching and sharing. So thank you. It's a great relationship here. So good luck in your contest. If you want more information on FSi DFS, the information is in the description of the video, how to get into our Discord, which is free, and there's free rooms in there for DFS things, but the premium stuff is on the page, and it's really cheap straight across the board on the different things that we offer. So small slate on baseball, so hopefully some of these things work. Make a few little changes in your GPPs off the chalk plays, and like I said, like Turner on DK over Tatis could be huge if Tatis flops and Turner goes off. I know it's an expensive play, but it's little things like that to make the difference. So thanks for watching, appreciate it. Good luck in your contest. I'll see you next time.